Following breaking news out of New York City as police are searching for a gunman.
He ignores numerous other pedestrians, approaches the victim from behind, and shoots him in the back.
The person has been taken into custody in Altoona, Pennsylvania in connection to the CEO shooting.
We must do more on the federal level to clamp down on the availability of ghost guns.
It feels good to get a guy like that off the street.
We want to update you now on the very latest into the investigation of the man suspected of murdering the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. 26-year-old Luigi Mangione was arrested Monday in Altoona, Pennsylvania on firearms charges. This after a McDonald's employee recognized him and called police. We now want to take you live to New York City outside of the Hilton Hotel where the shooting took place. Scripps News correspondent Kadia Tubman is there for us. Kadia, good morning to you. Tell us, please, if you would, what we know so far about this guy, about Luigi Mangione, and if there is any potential motive that's been identified by investigators.
Good morning to you, too. We are all trying to figure out right now why. What was the motive behind this fatal shooting of the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, Brian Thompson? What we do know right now is that there are two possible indicators for potential motive. One from police and the other from the internet. From police who approached and found Mangione in that McDonald's in Pennsylvania. We know that that was on his person. What was found was a document, a 3-page handwritten document that police say could lead to and clarify a motive and the mindset of the suspect in this shooting. And in that document, which has not been released yet by police, a senior law enforcement official has said that the document actually listed and named UnitedHealthcare. In the document also, it included how much the company makes and the size of the company. We also know that it condemned the health industry for prioritizing profits over people. The other possible indicator for a potential motive, we know, is that Mangione had a Goodreads account. That is a book catalog website, a social media account, as you would say. And on this account, he read books about chronic back pain, or listed that he wanted to read these books. It's not clear if he had yet confirmed if he had chronic back pain, but we know that he was reading and looking for these books. And he also reviewed a manifesto by the Unabomber. You will recall that the Unabomber is a domestic terrorist who sent bombs through the mail. And so we know that he reviewed this manifesto and even wrote in the manifesto that violence is never the solution, is only a statement uttered by cowards. So we know for sure that right now we're looking at everything on social media, but also listening to the police as they start to come out with more information as to Mangione's, the suspect's motive.
Okay, Dia, what are we hearing from the Mangione family in response to Luigi's arrest?
Well, we've already actually had a statement listed from the family on X by Nino Mangione, who is a Republican member of the Maryland House of Delegates. And Mangione said the family, in the statement, he said the family is shocked and devastated by Luigi's arrest. They also offered their thoughts and prayers to the family of Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. And they also said that they are devastated by this news. And so we're slowly hearing from the family. What we do know about this family is that they are a wealthy family in and from Maryland, where Luigi Mangione is from, and we're slowly gathering more information about Mangione.
Katie, I want to ask you about where you are. So outside near the Hilton Hotel where this incident took place. Curious if it's business as usual, if you see anything out of the ordinary this morning. Kind of describe it for us if you would, please.
Absolutely. We're here in Midtown in Manhattan, right outside the Hilton Hotel where the shooting had taken place. This is honestly, it appears as business as usual for many folks. But I can tell you that I've seen at least 3 police cars circle the block that we are standing on, driving past slowly, just checking. Many of the passerbyers look like they're just headed to work or headed to pick up coffee or breakfast. There isn't a lot of police tape, a lot of police cars blocking the streets. Right now, it appears that a lot of folks are still cautious of what happened here last week as they're walking around, taking photos and videos. And as I said, police cars are still circulating this area. However, it appears that it is business as usual, especially here in New York.
Appreciate your reporting, Kadia Tubman, Scripps News correspondent. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll speak again soon. Let's continue the conversation now. I want to bring in our guests. We have in the studio our legal analyst guest, attorney Erica Wilson, and joining us remotely, our law enforcement analyst, Claudia King. So let's dig in more about this guy. Did he want to be caught? Erica, I want to start there with you because we were having a little bit of a conversation off camera about some of these indicators that makes you wonder, was he surprised when he was taken into custody on Monday? What do you think?
I don't think so. I think everything that this guy has done has been very strategic and very methodical. So we think that, he got caught just going to the McDonald's. I don't think it's that easy. He's been leaving little Easter egg clues all around, including the messaging on the bullets, including the Monopoly money in his backpack, including his YouTube channel that said, hey, if you see this, I'm in jail. Right? And so you can't put that much effort, and I believe that YouTube channel was started back in January of this year. You cannot put this much effort into planning, and let's understand, he's a very smart guy. He went to one of the best private schools. He went to an Ivy League college. So, he has the intellect to be able to put all of these things together. So I don't believe it was just happenstance that he got caught at a random McDonald's somewhere. I think all of this was pre-planned. We'll find out what the message that he's really trying to send with all of these little Easter eggs eventually when if and when he ever speaks, which I think that he will. It's been too sensationalized. He's too much of a modern day hero, if you will, with that Robin-esque kind of vigilante justice for the people type of situation. Yes. So I do anticipate at some point we will probably hear something from him or get some sort of indication as to what these little clues were about, including but not limited to how you just accidentally on purpose got caught at a McDonald's.
Right. I like how you called them Easter eggs, these little hints being left behind, little clues. He left a lot of evidence for investigators to go after to identify him and then arrest him. And then that 3-page document that Kadia was just telling us about that he has on him in the McDonald's referencing UnitedHealthcare. Claudia, tapping into your law enforcement expertise, I'm so curious. One of the biggest questions I have, and maybe some of our courties at home are with me, tweet me if you are, I'm wondering if for the sake of our analysis, just because he's innocent until proven guilty, so he's just charged at this point, but let's say for the sake of our analysis that he's the guy, he did this. Were there more kills to be done, or was his axe to grind just against UnitedHealthcare? I think that's my question about all this. I'm curious what you think, if you think this guy was perhaps a greater danger than to just Brian Thompson, the victim shot and killed in New York.
The one reason that I don't think he was a greater danger is because he was so out in the open afterwards. So he was at the McDonald's. I feel like if there were more kills that he had planned in that moment, that he would have stayed kind of underground for longer so that he could accomplish those tasks as well. So I think perhaps this was a one and done. I think maybe we'll see that he or a family member had UnitedHealthcare, maybe had some issues with coverage, maybe related to the back pain, and this is what drove him to do this. So it's very interesting, but I agree with Erica. He wanted to get caught. He has that manifesto on him. We've only heard bits and pieces of it. So I think there's a lot more to come, and I agree that we will hear from him on why he targeted this one individual in particular.
Yes, exactly. Great points, Claudia. Erica, tell me, when we think about the potential motive, we know it could be potentially chronic back pain. There are reports that that's what he suffered from. How do you envision this case playing out? So it's been so public. His pictures everywhere. Like you said, you theorized that he potentially wanted to be caught. I mean, do you think this is even going to be a trial? I'm curious what you think legally, tapping into that expertise that you have.
I'm still trying to figure out his motive and like all of this that he's doing and for what purpose. And so I think because it's so sensationalized, I believe that there will be a trial. He has a bigger message. I don't think it'll end here. I think it has to go to trial so he can get out that which he wanted to convey. Because again, with those little Easter eggs, and your producers put up the picture of him holding a Happy Meal, I think everything is very thought out and very strategic. And so it's going to go to trial. There will be no pleas, there will be no, anything of that nature. We're going to go to trial. He's going to have his day in court. And when the trial happens, it's going to be, the word circus doesn't even do it justice. It's going to be something that everybody is going to want to see, because we all want to know why, the whys. Because again, you come from an affluent family. We can't presuppose that you had issues with insurance. I mean, I would guess if your parents own a literal country club, that even if insurance didn't pay, your health care would be covered. So we don't know. This is the ignominy we had in our minds. This is somebody disgruntled because the insurance didn't pay. I don't think that that's it. This is bigger than that.
That's a really interesting point, Erica, because it seems like he may have perhaps kind of, to use the cliche, grown up with a silver spoon in his mouth. Like, the grandpa bought 2 country clubs, right? He's going to private school, he's valedictorian, Ivy League, another private school, for college. Yeah, that's a really great point. Was he struggling, or was he taking up another cause, a cause for other people? And as you noted earlier, Erica, he's being celebrated by factions of people. Another aspect of this is the ingenuity here, that they said when they had the press conference yesterday, and I think it caught some reporters off guard perhaps, that firearm we see in that video was a ghost gun. And Claudia King, I want to ask you about that. Certainly somebody who's adept at firearms, and they say he used a 3D printer perhaps to make this gun. Would you kind of take us to gun school a little bit? I had a couple questions. I was getting texts about this. People say, well, what are ghost guns and why? It goes back to the serial numbers, right, and the lack thereof. And would you kind of take us to school about some of the difficulties officers have in tracing these guns?
Absolutely. So when we think of a traditional ghost gun, it's exactly like you said. There's no serial number, there's no tracking on it. So you have no indication of the beginning of the life of that firearm to the end of it, where it came from. But now we have a whole new problem when it comes to the 3D printers. So you can literally print anything, including a deadly weapon, at home. These printers are actually not that expensive. They're not that hard to operate. And so this is a whole new problem that law enforcement is going to have to look at and think about in these printers, because, now this kid from Penn printed this gun at home. So there was no record of it. Nobody knew about it. There's no serial number on it, as you mentioned. So this is a new problem that technology has brought to us that law enforcement is going to have to now address.
Really great insight, Claudia. Thank you for that. You and Eric are standing by with us this hour. We're going to switch back to the trial that we're covering. Thank you for this discussion. And as we get more information on Luigi Mangione in this case and the shooting death of Brian Thompson, of course, we will bring it to you live here on Court TV.